Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big Dog Wrestling Unleashed. This is on Pillar to Post. I am your host, Pete Wall. As always, hit that thumbs up if you're a new subscriber. You know what to do. There's a little red button there. Hit it. There's a little bell underneath the video. Click on it. You'll get notifications every time we go live or I upload. Now today is the day I discuss things that are going on in Big Dog Wrestling. I interview some of the wrestlers that are involved in Big Dog, and we have a good time doing it. So, what better time than to say it's beer o'clock, especially when you're on Big Dog Wrestling. I say cheers to you, and welcome to the damn show. Now, I'm going to minimize crap right here for a second, and I have to make sure things are going well in the stream, because shit can go down that way. And welcome to the damn show. Here we go. Now, I'm going to minimize crap right here. Mute the sound there so you don't have any of the feedback. Now, we've got Crypto Zoom Mahler in there. I'm going to be bringing him in for an interview, but the big interview that I've got, and I'm going to take these off because the glare is just ridiculous. The big interview I've got lined up today is Devilish. He is the YouTube champion of Friday Fight Night, and this would be the first time to have a live discussion with Devilish here on Skype as well as Big Dog Wrestling. Now, the problem is, I do not have a headset, so I got to cover up the mic a bit, and I'm going to bring Devilish in right now, because why not start the show off with a good interview?
Hey, Pete.
Hey, how's it going, Devilish?
Not too bad, yourself?
Not too bad at all. Now, you're on Big Dog Wrestling Unleashed, and you are the YouTube champion. So, we've got the first ever pay-per-view coming up on YouTube.com. It's titled Bloodsport. Now, I've already informed you who your opponent's going to be, but no one else has actually been informed. So, you're going to be taking on Cowboy John at the pay-per-view. He's been pretty precise with his victories after a little bit of extra training. So, what do you feel about him having garnered the attention of the YouTube champ?
Well, I see it like this. Doesn't matter who holds the title. Every title holder has a target on their back, period.
Exactly.
And you have to be ready for the next opponent no matter what. Even if you take a few losses against a few other people, whether they're non-title matches or such what, you know, it could be a dark match, it could be a tag match, you still got to be ready for your opponent. So, you know, he's going to come in, he's going to do what he wants to do, but, you know, after all, I am the devil, so I always have a plan up my sleeve.
Well, and as you should, you know, you are, like I said, the YouTube champ. You got a pretty powerful crew behind you as well. You've got Mil Muertes, you've got Queen Biatch, you've got Ruby Red Riding Hood, I should say. I always want to call her Riot for some reason or another. You've got Regina, and you've got Cuff and Spank Me. So you've got a pretty damn big crew to back you up if the trouble really hits the fan.
Well, you see, there's the little bit of a difference here. You and I both know what true brotherhood means.
Exactly, I do.
Okay? And a lot of these other wrestlers, they don't know what brotherhood truly means. But take it an extra step up, okay, from brotherhood and add in family.
I agree totally.
I don't just mean by blood either, okay? We're all related to each other, the six of us, okay? So you have Queen Biatch, who is my sister, okay? So there's your main bloodlines right there. Then next, after that, you have her other Ruby Red Riding Hood. Those two have been together from, jeez, I couldn't tell you when, but for a very, very long time. They are always partners in crime. You could almost say that they're married by the way they carry on with certain things.
Yeah.
Okay? Now you also have another very, very good dear friend that has done a lot of training in the dungeons with me, and has also done some things with QB. And that is Cuff and Spank Me. She's always been there to hold our backs whenever we need it. Next, you have the man who is the thousand deaths and does what the devil wants, resurrected just from his own blood himself, of myself, and that's Mil Mortez. He is also the cousin to Regina, and just to get you knowing the proper pronunciation, it's Aguila.
Aguila, okay.
Which is actually a Colombian beer brand name.
Okay. Well, I've been set straight finally. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you because I've seen you in the chat many a time and sitting in the front row as well. You dumbass, please, for a change, pronounce her last name correctly. And finally, it's there. It's Aguila or Aguila. There we go. Aguila. Okay.
Yes.
So I've been set straight in my ways. And I know there's a couple other wrestlers there that I probably botched their names up a little bit. But some of them, just the spelling of it is like, wow, baffling, you know?
True, true.
Now, you all know that at the pay-per-view, every champion's got to defend their title, the heavyweights as well as the women heavyweights. So you've got Cowboy John to contend with first. And if you, by chance, get past Cowboy John, you have two other champions you've got to face in a triple threat match to be crowned the undisputed Big Dog World Champion. Now, do you see yourself getting to that level, or do you have any kind of potential worries with the other champions? You've got Canadian Enforcer as well as Soul Keeper.
Well, let's go back to our first day. You put a title out for grabs. You put me in it. I took it. Plain and simple. Every other match that I've lost, that's been singles competition. There's been no title on the line.
True.
So you do the math.
Well, it looks like your future could be getting bright. You've performed very well in title matches. Now, you took a loss, and we had some other people jump on, you know, the usual suspects, you know, oh, that guy should deserve a title shot. Well, that's not the way it works in Big Dog Wrestling. If it's a non-title match, just because you can beat the champion one time does not mean you have proven yourself worthy or have, you know, shown me that you've got enough. You know, everyone has a bad night. And
that's where the saying comes down, every dog has their day.
Exactly. And on top of that, you know, just because you performed well one night doesn't mean you performed well in the past. So luck is, you know, a fickle bitch. You know, it can be good for you one night, it can be bad for you the other night. So the way I look at it, you beat a champ, sure, you had a good showing that night. But I look at your past record as well, and if that shit, well, you don't deserve to have a championship match against the big guy just yet. And I look at it that way with every single one of my shows. Now, I want to discuss another show with you, and that is the Wrestler Unstoppable version of Pillar to Post. And you have been a very busy man as of late.
I'm always a busy man, so.
You have done an extremely well job, and you've had a lot of people come up to you, and I know Gav, he's been supporting the channel as well here on YouTube. But you know, you've got a lot of people coming to you and helping you out in the Fed. And I wish I had more time. I could do more for you as well. But you've got a new list of GMs that we want to discuss here on the show. So can you give the listeners basically the rundown of who's running what in Big Dog now, so that way we're pretty damn well clear on who's got what job?
All right, so business. Put wrestling to a side for a moment here. Now, started posting links on the feed for all of us to see for when matches are coming up when he's there.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he's not around, he doesn't do it, and that's fine. Other people share links. They say, oh, we're live now. They keep sharing the different scenes that we have. And, you know, from me and on behalf of you, and we both say it, you say it all the time when you're on live on the streams, that we thank all of you for helping and sharing the links. It's the only way that everybody's going to get to see it and know that we're on. Now, to pillar to post on Wrestler Unstoppable on Facebook. Now, I sent out a message asking and seeing if anybody wanted to GM. I didn't get anything for a few days. It was quiet. I mentioned to you, go through those that you know and see who wanted to, and we kind of zeroed out at the moment, and it's like, then all of a sudden, it's like, a few people started coming to me and said, well, yeah, I could help GM, you know, what do you need? What do you want me to do?
Yep.
I said, okay, hang on, let me talk to Pete and see what he thinks. And you and I pretty much are on the same boat with most people. Either we know them a little bit, or we don't know them at all, or yeah, we've known them since we've started playing this game.
Exactly.
So first person that came into me, and he's going to be doing Friday Fight Night, and that is Super Nacho. Super Nacho's going to do that. I'm actually going to put up a wrestling card tonight. It's not going to have any number one contenders or title matches on it. We're just going to do a bunch of matches. I've asked people to go in, post. Whoever's posted in there are definitely going to get a match, and then I'll just throw a bunch of people together from Friday and let them do that. Now moving on to, I guess as you call it now, Warfare Saturday.
Yep.
We have another gentleman who is going to be taking that over. I'm just talking to him right now. I haven't told him everything that he's going to be doing. I've just been looking at some of his past GM work and other companies that he's done, and that is Hunter Breeden.
Nice.
He's going to take on, oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure that's right. Yes, Saturday nights he's taken care of. And then, which is one that surprised me because she is a really busy woman. She GMs in all sorts of other places. She's currently got going on part of their new faction, the Kindred, and that is Wrestling Mama, who's going to take on our Sunday show of Suicide Sunday.
A very hard-working woman, and we've got, by the sounds of it, 2 of them joining the crew.
Yes, that's right. So, along with that, I do have a couple other special little GMs that are doing some behind-the-scenes work. I'm not going to mention their names. I'm just leaving it at that. And they will do whatever little tidbits to send out invites, to give you invites to tournaments or whatever that, you know, that we need to set up. So whether you, Pete, or myself, we set it up, a tournament, and we need to get it out, bang, we can send the link of the tournament, give it off to one of these 2 special GMs, and they'll send out the mass invite to everybody. And a few other things that they can do in behind the scenes for us. That way it kind of ties up you and I, so we can concentrate on the bigger titles, such as the King and Queen of the Ring.
Exactly.
And the 2 Undisputed for men and women.
Yeah.
And anything else we think of as we go along, because we're doing different things. Then on top of it, to make myself even busier, I am slowly going to start giving every wrestler that's in Pillar to Post with us on Wrestler Unstoppable a basic entrance video.
I find that very awesome. I've told everyone if I had the time, I'd do it. As they all know, I had to make an announcement that I've done all the research. I've talked to a lot of people. There is absolutely no way that I can add different music in for their entrances for the 2K17 version of WWE. So it really screws things up on my end, because I'd love to give them that sound. It's what I strive to do, is make the best video game possible and the best action that we see. And to be able to say, yes, I can do that, you know, it makes me feel good. But then I got to turn around, you know, kind of crush some of these people and say, no, I'm sorry, just can't be done. And it's a lot of work to record every entrance and then add a song onto it later on. So I'm very happy that you're able to do that for me.
That's not a problem. I mean, I have a video editor that allows me to take both the lot of different songs have copyright protected on them.
Exactly.
So the artists get upset. Even sometimes I can get a hold of an artist, talk to them for a while. Sometimes I get their okays, and they give me a way around it. Others I've had in the past where at the beginning they were okay. As soon as I put up the video, load it up to YouTube, bam, they have an issue with it.
I actually lost.
And, and I've talked to them and said, well, you said it was okay and everything, gave me everything, so why is it an issue now?
Well, I actually lost my very first YouTube channel that way. I had tons of entrance videos for a lot of people that were in Big Dog Wrestling in WU back in the day when I was running it. And that whole channel was lost because of all the copyright infringements that came about. And
Yes.
I had permissions before. And, just ended up changing their minds and screwing with me. So I had to start off fresh, and it's been a wild ride. I have to say that. Like, I know, I wanted to discuss this with you too. You talked about it. I believe it was you or Judgment had tried doing the same kind of project that I'm doing now. Was that you?
Yeah, I was trying to do that. And that was, I think, with 2K12 or 2K13 at the time. You were off, obviously, for your personal issue that you suffered, I think, at that time.
Yeah.
What you were going through. I had a actual company. I think there was like 50 people in it at the time, and I decided to make up a new division and just called it the PlayStation division. And at that time, for those that that were around, some people had some interest, but they weren't fully into it. I don't think the concept idea was really sinking into a lot of people, so I only had about 8 total.
Yeah, and that just doesn't do a roster well.
Well, the thing was, I didn't have the YouTube part that you're doing for a live stream. I just had it where I would do the matches, let the AI decide who was going to win or lose, do up their characters, do as close as I possibly can, record it, upload it into the scene, and let the people see. Whoever wins was the winner and moved on. If it was a title match, whoever won, give them the title in the corporation or in the company. And that's what it was. And it ran for about a couple of weeks, and then people kind of died off. Nobody responded or anything. So I went, okay, fine. I guess it's not a go. So I left it.
I think what's really making Big Dog so popular right now is that they can communicate with each other during the live stream show, and like they've got that chat available there. I've seen tons of trash talking going on in there, and they've had it to the point where I've almost spewed beer all over my monitors, and it makes it exciting. It is like I'm focusing on the match as well as the chat at the same time, and
Just through the monitor.
yeah. No, and
but it's good. It's good.
yeah, and everyone says, "Oh, you're doing such a good job," but it isn't just me anymore. It's you guys in the chat as well. You guys really kick it up during the shows and really make it more exciting. And to me, that's a joint endeavor, and it's no longer a project to me. It's already a success, and we have a great time, and that's what it's all about, and that's what I'm trying to keep it as. That's why I brought you in as a mod, Cowboy John, Wrestling Mama, and Tyler Black, because we get trolls every now and then. You've seen them.
Well, yeah, you get these people. They come in and they just want to disturb everything and post their garbage, whatever it may be, and be immature idiots. And meanwhile, most of them are probably even older than we are, and they're doing this.
Exactly. And I want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. I haven't been ignoring you. I've been reading your posts. Cowboy John actually had something to say earlier on. Let me find it here. And it was regarding that title. He says he will become the new YouTube champion. So, yeah, he says he is ready to take that title away from you. What is your response to that?
Let's put it this way. There's always a time in a life where a person has to take a journey down the road. When they come down that road, they're going to hit the crossroads. When they hit the crossroads, they have 2 choices. They either can keep walking, or they can take all their personal possessions, put it in a little tin box, bury it in the dirt, and
I love that, bro. That was nicely said. Now, I want to eventually try and get Cowboy John on here, and I'm not sure how many days we have left before the pay-per-view, but I'm going to have to break the pay-per-view down into 2 days. There is so much going on. Just the men and the women's titles, that is 8 matches in total. So you're looking at a complete show, just the men and the women heavyweights. And then you've got the mid-card titles, which are the Canadian, US, and Mexican. And then you've got the tags as well. So there's another 6 matches there. So I want to do it so that way most of the people in the company get a good shake at the pay-per-view. I can't include everyone because I'm looking at another 3-day job then. But the ones that have been proving they can win consistently, those are the ones I want to add on to the card as well. So we're going to have 2 shows for Bloodsport, and we're going to do it so that way there's a couple of dark matches before the main cards as well. And I will let everyone know how it's going to go and break it down for you as we near there. We've got shows tonight. Tonight is Friday Fight Night, and wow, let's see, a lot of shit going down. I haven't even set the card up properly yet because there is just so much to go over with what happened last week and everything. So I've got a big job ahead of me before the show even begins, and then the pay-per-views to set up and look forward to. So I'm going to be a very busy man. I ask everyone that sends me the music that they want for their entrances to be patient as always, because I'm making sure I get to you guys as they come in, doing it quickly, and still setting up the shows as I can. So if you don't have your entrance and your entrance theme song this week, it will be on next week. That I promise you. So there's that, and other big matches as well. Like, we're going to bring on some other people as well. Crypto wants to have a little word today as well, so I want to make sure he gets his shot to talk. If I had Cowboy John's Skype, if he has Skype at all, I would gladly bring him on. I'd love to see a confrontation between you two right here on Unleashed, because damn, that would be fucking awesome. It's like interview with wrestler manager via Skype. Yes, it is. No, but maybe next week we get Cowboy John on and we'll bring you guys on at the same time if you've got time. I know today was, we did this show Sunday last week, and we had to do this Friday because you've got limited time, because you're a very busy man away from the ring as well as in the ring. So it's very hard to do. So I would love to do it, but today just does not bode well for both of us. Now, what are the plans for Hell? There's been a lot of murmuring and a lot of whispers, but I haven't really grasped the full details of what Hell is, besides them being a family, much like the Brotherhood is on Saturday night. But what's the plans eventually?
Well, I'm not going to say too much about what the plans are, because the plans are just that. They're whispers, they're rumors, they're little hearsays. But Friday's just the start.
Friday's just going to be the start. So what are we going to see tonight from Hell? Or should we discuss that away from Skype, away from this interview segment, and maybe the boss, you know, bends an ear towards Hell a little bit and sees what they have in store for Friday Fight Night, because I really want to see the team break out, because we've got not just Hell to contend with, but we've got Crypto Zoom Mahler trying to build up a stable, and then we've got the Bullies of Destruction, which you guys finally made them lose their very first match in a tag team match, and it was a spectacular match, and you guys fucking whooped them.
Right. It's just the combination between Mill and I. We know each other, we know what each one's going to do, and we just take it from there.
Yeah. You know, so
thinking involved.
So we will eventually be having wars of attrition, and that will be to see who is the best foundation, I should say, or stable within Big Dog Wrestling. That might be just one pay-per-view coming up in the near future, and it will be to test the stables. Singles matches won't be involved really, except for who's in the stables at hand. And I want to really concentrate on the stables, because stables make a big part, and were a big part of wrestling back in the day, and you don't really see that these days in wrestling. So I really want to give the stables a voice on Big Dog Wrestling.
Yeah, that you know, it certainly will kick it in. Um, and each stable, you know, everybody has their strong members and everybody has their weak members, and it'll come out and show once the smoke all clears.
Yep, definitely. Well, now I want to ask the viewers if they've got any questions for Devilish himself. I've actually got one for you before we go to questions from the peanut gallery on the side here. But now I've been getting a lot of questions about the Wrestler Unstoppable version of Pillar to Post. And these are people that want to eventually be created and join Big Dog Wrestling here on YouTube. And they want to know from Devilish if by chance that you could create a division within Pillar to Post on Wrestler Unstoppable for them to join the company, and that way when it's time for them to join the YouTube channel, you know, they can just be created and uploaded, and they're already part of the company. What does that sound like to you?
That sounds like a good idea. Right now, I'm just trying to complete a few extra divisions to go with all our titles in Pillar to Post. Just so that way, as GMs are setting up their matches and everything, that it's, you know, a simple, easy click. If you're on Friday night, that you got your YouTube champion, which is all the men, so it's easy enough just to click into the men and do it for that particular day for that show. Same with for the other two titles, for the Canadian and the women's. So that way, it's an easy flow. Putting in the people, like, I mean, I'm sure you've had in Wrestler Unstoppable as well as I've had people come up to me and say they want in, they want in, they want in, and I gotta kind of turn them down right now, because the general idea is I wanted to at least let July. I might go into August and saying just the people who are already created are getting into Pillar to Post. And the only reason why I say that is because I want them to be able to start their storylines, start their feuds for each of their shows. So whether you're Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, to get in there and find somebody, and, you know, we take it a little bit of out of character here, okay? Sure, as Dev tends to be, you know, very rude, very arrogant and everything, and that's just part of who he is, because what everybody thinks of what the Devil should be is basically who he is. So everybody thinks, oh, he can be the kindest person in the world, he can be a lover, he can be a hater, he can be the asshole, he can be a motherfucker, whatever the hell you want to call him from A to Z, he's been called, and he will be that. His tendency is that he is above everybody in his mind, even though he knows that he's not, because he's walking with the rest of you on earth instead of staying in hell. But I've kind of put aside, like, I mean, there's people that have come into the company that you've put in there for your aspect for being live here on stream for the Big Dog Wrestling YouTube. And I always use the word YouTube so we don't get the Big Dog Wrestling confused with what's in Wrestler Unstoppable of Big Dog Wrestling that you originally started, your creation. That, yeah, there's people I hate, I don't really want to work with, but because of this and putting my personal grudges and feelings aside, that I will work with people and just do the storylines as we need to.
And it is greatly appreciated. Like, we talked about this before you even got the Fed started, and you even said, you know, I've got issues with some people, and there's some other wrestlers that have issues with some others, but let's put the egos aside at the door and have some fun with this. And I do appreciate that from everyone. I haven't seen anything blow up on the YouTube Fed yet, which I do appreciate from everyone. Keep it light, keep it cool. That's what I like to say. You know, it's...
Yeah, and I mean, certain things I say, but then I pull it back a bit.
Yeah.
And I try to keep it as simple as possible. Sometimes when I talk, it sounds like I'm inside some weird encoded, cryptid wording, and that's just part of the way I bring the character across. I've been devilish for as long as I possibly can remember. I didn't exactly call the character devilish in the beginning, but was something that I did, and somebody said something. It's like you're just devilish, and it's like when I heard that name, I said that's the name that I need, and I've kept it with that for a very long time. And that may have come from the Brotherhood, and that's even not saying anything else. We'll just leave it that you know the stories.
Oh yes.
But we'll leave it as that. Let people think about it for a minute. But yeah, it's put your grudges, put your egos, put your hatred to the side. Do it as a storyline, whether you're on the show. Sure, Pete and I will look at it and say, okay, I really don't get along with this other person all that great. It might blow up like crazy. Yeah, we've shifted a few people around to keep them off on other shows just to try to keep the tension down as much as possible. I mean, sure, you get people that annoy the hell out of you, and it's like, you want to just reach through that screen, grab them by the neck, squeeze real hard until their fucking eyeballs fall out.
Exactly. And if it was possible, I guarantee every one of us would have done it at some point in our career.
Yes, well, definitely. But, we got to put it aside, and that's part of why I kind of decided to put Pillar to Post on Unstoppable, right, for Wrestler Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Is to bring it along, add the extra factor so that we can keep the people together, they can get the links and everything else, right, and move forward. So
exactly.
These other people that have decided to come up and say, I want in, we're saying sorry at the moment. But yes, and going down the road for on Wrestler Unstoppable, the Pillar to Post company, these people I'm going to bring in, and I think, yes, your idea that put them in a separate division for the time being, and then once we kind of can go, we can kind of integrate them into the shows.
Yeah.
So that way it's on there. Even though they might not be created, but we can still let them fight and let them fight for a title.
Exactly.
On one of the shows. And as you guys come in between Pete and I, we'll kind of figure out, okay, where to add yous. Add a few more onto Friday, a few on Saturday, a few on Sunday. And there's no real reason or rhyme to what we're going to do for it. If it happens to be that you're coming in because you're part of another group, because we already know that, now you can correct me if you know the numbers of it, I think there's 3 more that's supposed to go to Killer Dolls for Sunday.
Yes.
And they've all, 2 of them have already contacted me, and I've already told them, so no, right now, I said, wait, we're just trying to get those who's together. I've given them Cardinal Mordecai, the info for them to say, contact him so he can put you down on the list for waiting.
And what a list it has, what a list is that has become. It is outrageous.
Yep, and as people, either leave for whatever reason it is, the next person that's on the list, I'm sure you're just going to be adding them into it and contacting them.
Yes, I will be. Yep.
Right, so, I mean, by all means, people, you can inbox, Cardinal Mordecai or myself, Devilish, in Wrestler Unstoppable. We'll get to you. If we don't answer away, please be patient. Like, we are doing different things here and there. Sometimes I'm in, and it looks like I'm not doing anything, but sometimes I'm, like, triple tasking, not multitasking. Either I'm on here and I'm doing something else. I'm watching in the feed. I'm over here. I'm doing something else behind the scenes, trying to add certain things, get things clickable and working. Just like your main Pillar to Post logo I put up on the company wall. Eventually, I'm going to have that link to your Facebook group and also bring it straight here to the streams for YouTube as well.
That is awesome, bro. Thank you very much.
An extra scene once you click it. And I know I don't have it directly, and we have it indirectly, which is our fantasy fight nights.
Yes.
I'm going to set up a separate link there for it, so that way people can click it, they can go in. I just asked those who haven't had their actual fantasy fight night matches and you want them, get in there, post. I know some people have already had some and they're reposting the new matches already. Just to let the few have their matches first, and we'll go from there. I know some of the YouTubers come in and they want to see Sting versus Goldberg, whatever.
Exactly.
It's fine. But, we kind of know this, like, they don't realize that, oh, yeah, we're doing something different, and they just expect to be WWE content.
Yeah, and I make that clear with every show. Yeah. Like I think it's pretty wild how people make the requests. Like we had someone in there, I don't know how many different matches they thought of, and it's like, wow. Okay, just calm down a little bit. Pick one match you want to see tonight, and
Yeah,
then we'll
he
book
was
that.
just throwing each wrestler that was on the roster against another wrestler on the roster from WWE.
Exactly.
That's all it was, and it seemed like every 3 seconds he was putting up a new
Yeah.
pairing.
So, you know, I try and give everyone a little bit what they want. Now, I want people to understand I don't have everyone unlocked here on WWE 2K17 as of yet because I've been a really busy guy. I haven't really had that much of a chance to actually play the game myself. I bought the game, we started with this project, and so every time I've got a little extra time, I'll go and play the game, get some VC points, unlock another character, and then I can add it to the list of who you guys can challenge in your dream matches. And but right now, the biggest one I'm trying to get is Eddie Guerrero, because your boy Mil Muertes is desperate for a match against the legend. You know.
Oh, the man behind Mil Mortez, um, he lives down in Mexico right now,
Yeah.
and he does a lot of independent luchador wrestling. He basically is the ring assembler. He does a few other things here and there when they ask him to do different jobs, but he's one of the guys that actually sets up the ring. And he has occasionally worked as maintenance for Luchador Underground. So he gets to meet a few of those people from there, but he actually knows, and I don't know if I'm gonna say this properly because he is Puerto Rican and not Mexican or from South America, which is Ricky Banderas,
Okay.
the guy who actually is Mil Mortez there.
Yeah.
He has met him. He's talked to him for many times, and he's actually went and told him that he was going to do this. And whenever they get a chance to meet up again, they have some free time. He's going to show him on the laptop what is actually going on.
Oh, that was
And
pretty awesome.
Ricky has said, yeah. He goes, go ahead. He goes, thank you. He goes, I'm really flattered. And it's not that he's trying to rip him off and use the name to make himself popular or anything, you know, with the wrestling unstoppable crowd. He's doing it because he likes the style, the way the guy fights. He's seen him for a long time when he was all his other personalities before he came to Luchador Underground. So you know he likes it. He also met Eddie a long time ago when he was some independent little show where Eddie came through representing. I forget who it was he was with before WCW time. There was an American wrestling promotion that he was with that they were touring through the States and just happened to come through where he was in the States setting up rings, and he met him. They talked. They got along, and he said he's always loved his style because he's brought part of luchador into WWE and to all the mainstream wrestlings, along with like guys like Rey Mysterio, even the other Guerreros before Eddie and Chavo Jr. You look at Chavo Sr., he brought his little style of luchador up. And, may he, if I recall correctly, he passed away not too long ago, Sr.
Yeah.
So, that's the man behind Mil Mortez. He has the luchador information. And, from time to time, he'll come around into the feed. He may say a little bit, but most of the time he'll be speaking in Spanish, very little English, except for when he needs to translate things.
Yeah.
But that's the man. And, yeah, he wants Eddie Guerrero for his fantasy night because, like him and like Regina, they both kind of wanted luchador or luchadora wrestlers to actually fight, but unfortunately WWE doesn't really have a lot of them other than, the overhyped Sin Cara and stuff like that, which is not quite the same.
Now that I do like it, I do appreciate you giving me a little backstory on Mil Muertes and his manager, because I've been actually wanting to talk to him, but for the most part, like you said, he posts in Spanish, So until now, I wasn't really sure how much English he actually spoke, and so I've been a little bit guarded on. What was that?
Speak English. He just chooses to stay Spanish because of the character, right?
Ah, so staying true to the character.
So he's keeping the Spanish part out of it, right there. Um, so different times he'll say whatever in English, just for certain things, but most of the time he'll just say whatever in Spanish because he might be ripping you,
Yeah.
right? He might be trying to pull your leg, get you going.
Now, I know a little bit of Spanish myself, but it's not anything that I want to say because I might offend someone that is actually Spanish. But because when I do this show, I'm Pete Wall. I used to work in apple orchards and tobacco with a lot of Mexicans and stuff. And the one day I sat down with them and I was like, okay, you guys got to start teaching me this stuff. Because you listen to them talking all the time. You get really pulled in because the language is so fascinating in a lot of ways. And one word can mean like up to 10 different things.
Well, that's just it. We can take the one word, which you'll see Regina use quite a bit, which is puta.
Yep.
P-U-T-A. Okay? It can mean bitch, it can mean ass, it can mean a whole bunch of other things, but it all depends on how it's said, with what words lead up to it.
Exactly. And so they sat me down, and the only one I can really remember, except for all the swearing words, is the guy sits me down. He goes, okay, anyone ever comes up to you and calls you a motherfucker or puta madre, he goes, just say this: no tengo tiempo, me estoy chingando la tuya. And it means, I've got no time, I'm too busy doing yours. So it's a little bit of a comeback line, So that's the only one that really stuck with me besides all the curse words.
Yeah. Usually that's where you learn first, is all the cursing.
Exactly. Now, I want to ask the Peanut Gallery. You guys got any questions for Devilish? And if you do, shout it out now. I see my little bro in the stream. How's it going, David? He is a newcomer to Big Dog Wrestling. He's got tryouts this entire weekend. I'm going to put my little bro through the ringer. And his first opponent, and that will be tonight at 6 p.m., will be his older brother. And I'm going to school you on what wrestling is all about here in Big Dog Wrestling. So, little bro, I'm going to put you to the test. But if you guys have any questions for Devilish before he gets off air, shout it out now, because he is a very busy man. But anything you want to do, any kind of promo before you get off air, before any questions come out as well?
Not that I have much.
No.
Just, there's plans.
There's plans of brewing.
Well, a little bit of this, you could say, is a little bit of business, and that going to be coming on kind of both sides for us a little bit, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about it after. But,
okay.
Just a little tinkle. So yes, at the bottom of the company page, you'll see down there the big logo DHP. That is Devilishly Handsome Productions. That is the main studio in which I use for making entrance videos. I've also done name tags. I've done artwork before in the past. I may tinker with it a little bit more. And I've also mentioned, if anybody's actually read properly what I first put up there, that there may be a radio show coming down the road.
Awesome.
Blog Talk or something else. How it's going to be run, it's going to be a little different. Let's just say I'm not going to try to keep it the same way which I hear a lot of different other radio shows. It may be a little bit different. Maybe there will be some interviews. Yeah, there'll be music played, whatever. That's norm. But some of the topics and stuff might not be pertaining just to Wrestling Unstoppable. It may be pertaining to other things. It's hard to say. I have ideas in my head. Sometimes I go with them, sometimes I don't. I'll look at it and we'll decide from there. But entrance videos to come as well. But those ones that will be coming are not just going to be the simple basic one like I posted with Bubs. They're already, so you know what a simple entrance video looks like and what you're going to get from me. there are other ones where some people have seen it and has been posted here and there where I've actually do a lot more work.
Yeah.
Where I get people that if they've got promo pictures or they have certain sayings that they have or slogans or they want to say a little tidbit, I can actually add it into the video. Add it a little bit more than just an entrance. So you're getting a little bit of a different movie Titantron idea. Staying away from the other Titantron, which some of the other people who are doing entrance videos, you know, they do a lot of great work. Even if there's a couple out there that I have beefs with, you know, as being my character versus their character, and I've said that the simple style is stupid, but that's my personal opinion.
Exactly.
I don't like the simple, just seeing the full entrance, them walking down. I also don't like showing the movie part where the wrestlers are actually doing moves. I like to keep it out because I want it to be more about the wrestlers coming out as an entrance, that they have a little bit of an extra promo.
Yeah.
That they don't need to show off their skills. It's basically they're trash talking as they're coming down to the ring by what I'm doing, by adding the pictures, by adding a little slogan here and there or a little bit of word. That's more of what I was trying to do, was trying to add a little bit of different flair to it.
And I've seen them, and I love your interview, your entrance videos. We've got a couple of comments here in the section now. Adam Guerin says he sent you a message for an invite to the Corp. Now, I'm pretty sure I sent Adam Guerin one already, but I'll send him another one. Let's see.
No problem. When I get in there, I'll send him one as well.
Okay. Crypto Zoo Mahler, is there any plans to put the dolls on another show? Like I said last week, we are going to have any female tag teams going cross-promotion because there is a limited amount of tag teams for women. We are going to push for a women's tag team division, but it is going to be just one title. There's not going to be three for each brand. It's going to be one that travels to each brand. Once you become a champion, you're going to have to be switching up the shows, and all female tag teams are going to be flip-flopped throughout the shows to begin with. So that answers that question. Here's one from Tig Dawn. With all that you do, how do you keep calm from the fan mail you get when people just won't listen? I'm going to let you cover that one because I know you put up with just as much as I do, so you shoot on that one.
Basically, you gotta have patience. You gotta keep your mind calm. It's kind of like being a supervisor at work and you have more than 50 staff members to contend with. It's the same idea. People can be really childish, they can be idiots, they can be assholes, but you have to be biased, even though you may have your personal opinion and you might vent to somebody else about it, you know, because you get frustrated.
Yep.
And you have to let off some steam somewhere, sometime, and you just gotta hope that you don't do it in the wrong spot where people see it and then gossip and rumors go around. But being in character is like, you kind of gotta, okay, this person's being this way, it's fine, whatever, you know, they're bugging, they're pestering you, it's like, okay, so you say something and you hope that
comes across properly.
Yeah, like, you know, and people just keep bugging and bugging and bugging. It's like, okay, you watch for certain things, like, you know, as a being mod in here live on the stream, right, in the live chat, it's like you watch, you see certain things
go on, okay, you kind of get it. Once in a while you say, okay, guys, you know, chill, right? And you hope that that's enough. And if we have to, like there, you can put them in the timeout box for 3 minutes and hope that that sends a message, right, before you do the ultimate. And it's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I got the name earlier wrong. It is Iceman Doug Bishop in the chat. That sent you a message. I said Adam Guerin. I am sorry about that to the
That's
Iceman.
okay. No. Because with all the messages that come in, and as I send out messages in Wrestler Unstoppable, if I've already looked at your message, it'll get lost. But I don't click the green check mark ever. I actually look at every message that comes into my inbox. I see it. Sometimes I don't respond right away. It could be because of a time constraint that I've seen it, you know, whether it be my personal life or because I'm doing something else online with you, Pete, or whatever I'm doing behind the scenes on the Pillar to Post company, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, I eventually will get to you. Sometimes it's just not right away. So, yeah, you have to have a little bit of patience with me. Sometimes, yeah, you got to remind me. But, you know, that's just part of being human.
Yeah. Now, I've got a very similar response to that as well. Like, the biggest part of it all, and believe me, some days when I walk in a Wrestler Unstoppable or I come onto YouTube, I've got close to 50 messages waiting for me in Wrestler Unstoppable. I've got posts on here I've got to contend with.
50 seems small.
It is. The very first time, though, there was well over 100 when I mentioned music for your entrances and stuff.
Of
And
course.
it's like, oh my God, what did I do to myself?
Yeah.
But it's a lot of patience and making sure you've got actually someone either online that you can talk to about it so you don't vent out in the wrong area like you said, or like me, I've got my wife who was in Wrestler Unstoppable for years as well as FBW, so she understands all the hard work that goes into stuff like this. And so it's just having somewhere where you can either talk with someone else, or like me, sometimes I'll just go outside and start working on my son's car because it's a way for me to relieve stress. And
Yep.
you know, it's a big thing to have, is that venting area. And I think me and you've both kind of graduated from back in the day when we just lose it and we didn't give a shit what people thought.
Yeah, that got me banned from Quebec.
It got
And
me.
that's a real ban, not a suspension like Wrestler Unstoppable does because of whatever you said to one of the mods or the owner or the CEO. The real bans are different. They're for life, and you can't get rid of them no matter what you do.
To answer Todd Wright's question, my wife was known as Shockwave in WU. She no longer plays. She is part of the Pillar to Post community here, but other than that, she stays away from Wrestler Unstoppable these days. Now, we're going to let Devilish go, and we've got some other guys that want to get on. And I also got to give a shout out to Internet Football League. It is a fantasy football league. He asked me if we could be affiliates here on YouTube. Check him out. I checked his show out the other day. It's a pretty damn good show. Another thing, if you've got other questions that you need answered about the Federation, the best person that you guys can discuss these questions with is Devilish, as well as Wrestling Mama and all the other GMs that he mentioned tonight, because they're going to know best what's going on, because I'm so busy doing my thing on here, I can only peek in every now and then what's going on Wrestler Unstoppable. So make sure you guys check out who your GMs are for your shows. And, you know, if you guys can't figure it out, send Devilish a message and he's going to direct you to the right person. I want to thank Devilish for being on the show. It was great talking to you, actually finally talking to you like this instead of just, you know, messages.
Well, that's no problem, Pete. And you know, as we go forward, the more you want to do together like this, that's fine. We'll figure it out.
Definitely will. I know you're a busy man. I'm a busy man. We're going to bring on another busy man as well. So I'm going to let you go. You have yourself a good one, man, and I will see you soon.
That's right. Take care for now.
Okay, bye. All right, before we bring in the next guest, I want to talk about the pay-per-view, how it's going to break down. Now, I've always considered the women's heavyweight champion to be on par with the men's heavyweight champion. They work their asses off just as well as the men. So what's going to happen is on the 30th, we're going to have the men's heavyweight title go down there. So it's going to be all three shows champions. They're going to defend their titles, and then they're going to have the triple threat to crown the undisputed world Big Dog champion. And then on the 31st, we're going to have the women showcase in the main event. I want to just quickly pause for a second. My girls just got home from a long weekend of camping. I love you too, sweetheart. Anything's going to happen on this show. And my kids have been gone for a week, so I'm going to just take a little break here.
My back hurts.
I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too, man.
You had fun?
I did, but the boys were annoying on the drive.
Well, I am going to finish up what I'm doing here, and then I will be upstairs to talk to you. Say hi to Kyla for me as well. Internet Football League says, I'm Iceman Doug Bishop on W. Hit me up on the details on the Internet Football League or visit our YouTube channel. And if you want to visit him directly from here, you can open up a new page. Click on the 3 dots beside his comment, and it'll bring up a list of what you can do. You can go and just go to his channel or right-click it and then open up a new tab to check him out. But that's one way you can do it, or just click on his name as well. Now, like I said, what we're going to do with the women's titles and the men's titles are, we're going to have, like I said, the 3 heavyweight men's titles on the 31st. The women heavyweight titles are going to be featured on the 31st. They are going to be the main events. And then we're going to have the U.S., the Canadian, and the Mexican titles spread across the board on each, as well as the tag teams. And then we're going to have some kickoff show matches as well to bring in the guys that have been busting their ass off, making a statement, and providing some good entertainment. So we're going to do that. Now, up next, I'm going to bring in, I got to make sure that he's all right with it. Where is he? How vulgar am I allowed to be? You know what? You're allowed to be as vulgar as you want. Just make sure it is done in the right way. I'm going to give Adam Guerin a call. He is my next guest, and then we're going to get on with Crypto Zoo Mahler. Adam, have you fallen asleep? Okay, we're gonna try Adam later on. So we're gonna go with Crypto Zoo Mahler now, and if he don't answer his phone, he's gonna lose his shot at an interview. How's it going, bro?
Hey, going pretty good. How are you?
Not too damn bad. How about your? What have you been up to today?
I am just relaxing under the fan because yesterday I sweated my ass off mowing.
Now, Crypto Zoo Mahler has been on a pretty wild streak, as well as trying to get his stable up and going.
Yeah, the stable was going well until
I stuck my nose in it.
Well, that's what I thought, but Tyler says it wasn't you. It was
no. I to me it was asking questions, see where he was leading. Now we've got Adam Guerin on. We're gonna bring him back in a second. We're here with Crypto Zoo Mahler at the moment. Now, who specifically is in the court of, what is it? Celtic Crypto?
No, the tag team is the Counts of Celtic Crypto.
Okay.
And the faction, if you will, is Crypto's Court.
Okay.
So that right now we have an invitation to be Daddy Moto. I'd like to take advantage of the time here and see if Cowboy John is interested or not. I think I may have already asked him, but I've already asked Texas Menace the first time he said no, so I'm not going to press that. The Queen Raven said no, so I'm not going to press that. I'm having fun, though. I mean, face staples aren't supposed to be huge anyway.
No, I don't want him getting out of control where you can't manage the stable. The stables should always be manageable.
Yes, my inspiration is Booker T when he became the king, and he had a small stable around that. So that's what I'm going for right there.
Yeah.
So, we've got Peanut. He's my knight, if you will, Sir Peanut. He's not been having a good time yet, but I'm hoping to turn things around. And we've also got my Count, because he's the one that I've known the longest, been tag team partners with. That would be Matt Andrews, and he's doing, I would say, okay, but we definitely have a ways to go with him. And, hopefully, him being part of a faction in Big Dog is going to help him achieve success.
Yeah. Now, so where do you see Crypto Zoomaller ending up? Because you have been impressive. I can't say you haven't. I give you a hard time every now and then.
Never pinned, never submitted. That's Crypto. The winner of the first ever Elimination Chamber match and the first ever King of the Ring. Nobody's ever going to forget the first King.
So, the question is, and I stated this last show, now after the pay-per-view, the King and the Queen have their option to challenge any champion on the show that they are on. Okay, they can't go out of their way and challenge a different brand for their heavyweight or U.S. title or what have you. It's got to be on the brand that they're on. So, who do you see Crypto challenging once the pay-per-view has been resolved and you go on to make your challenge and your bid for what champion?
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to switch it up from what people expect. Everyone's expecting me to challenge Devilish. I'm thinking of challenging for the tag team belts.
Tag team? A different angle. I actually like that. It's a little bit of a different way to go, and I appreciate that because that does help build the tag team division up a little bit, and I appreciate that very much. Now, any other kind of plans besides building up your stable? Like, I know you've got this this little friction with Tyler Black and his crew at the moment. And
that's right. We had a week of peace, and then all of a sudden he decides he's going to try to challenge all champions, including the King of the Ring. And I think he's overreaching, and I'm going to have to smack his knuckles with a ruler.
Oh, see, here I was thinking you were king. You were going to smack his knuckles with a scepter. But you're
I
going
might
old
do
school
that
teacher mode, and you're going to use a ruler. Wow. Now, you're a unique character. You've got obviously your roots lie in being a big fan of Sting, and so you got a very similar build. You got a very similar look to Sting. You've got similar face paint. Now, what do you think of the whole Big Dog experience, going back to being such a big WCW fan? What kind of thoughts do you have on the way Big Dog has appeared thus far?
Well, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I know Big Dog is more analogous to ECW, perhaps, except there is no intergender anything, really, which is a shame.
If it was an option, we could go there.
I know. I know a lot of the women have actually been trying to say, hey, I wish I could fight Crypto, but I'm sorry, ladies. You're just going to have to wait in line and wait for that chance.
They only want to fight you, though, is because they want to castrate you.
Oh, well, that would be bad. But, yeah, the character of Crypto is, yes, it's very Sting-oriented, but it's also a little bit of Skinner and a little bit of Kurt Angle back when he was the face and doing the three eyes. And he just wants to do what's best for the world, and he thinks that he's what's best for the world, which a lot of people are going to take issue with. And he basically is a Bigfoot hunter, a lake monster hunter. He goes out and finds, like, investigates El Chupacabras and Mothman, Jersey Devil. He goes all over the world doing his little promos where he's hunting down Sasquatch and Yeti and stuff like that. So eventually, one day, I'm hoping to build a nice little feud with Wild-Eyed Yeti, because I think that would be good. And actually, Yeti and I get along pretty good backstage, so I think there wouldn't be any real friction for that. I think the crowd would like to see it. But right now, I'm having a lot of feuds building up on Friday, and that's going to keep me busy for a long time.
Friday nights are going to keep you busy for a long time to come.
That's right. I don't need to go looking for more feuds right now.
Now, when it comes to competition, who do you see as your biggest goal to overcome thus far in Big Dog Wrestling? Because you, like you said, you've been undefeated. You haven't been pinned. You haven't been submitted. So
well,
who is
I have been defeated,
challenge?
But I've never been pinned or submitted.
Okay.
But I've never been defeated in singles action. My biggest competition it's probably going to be either Devilish or Canadian Enforcer or Buckshot. But
Damn.
I don't see that. I don't see that as being something that I need to address right away, because right away I've got people who think they can erode my popularity, and I've got to nip that in the bud. So I've got
Well,
to
we've got,
I got to lay
Tyler-
some slack down right away.
We've got Tyler Black in the chat right now. He says, "Bullies of destruction are here, King. We are coming for you and your court." What do you have to say about that?
I think that it's funny how originally you were challenging all the champions, and now you're focused on me, the one guy who has already beat you in the ring single match, one-on-one twice now.
And I do love the Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man comment there from Internet Football League. Do appreciate that. Sorry about that. Now, damn it. Enjoying the cigar just a little bit too much. But we've got Adam Guerin wanting to come in. You got a promo or any questions you want to ask before I drop you and bring Adam Guerin in, because he's his manager's on limited time. He's got to leave for work very shortly. So, do you got a promo you want to cut or any questions you need answered? Do it now.
All I've got to say is just wait until you see me tonight. I think you're really going to love the change that you see. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to let Adam Guerin have his little moment, and the King has left the interview.
All right, thanks very much, Crypto, and I will see you later on tonight, because you have got a huge match on your hands tonight, and you'll be finding that out later on. So let's bring in Adam Guerin here, folks, and see what Adam Guerin has to say. Will he answer the phone? Or the call, I should say. Mr. Guerin, I await your presence. Stop sucking it and puff it, man. You know what? Nothing better than sucking back on a big stogie. Okay, Adam Guerin doesn't seem like he's going to answer. It sucks. I know he really wanted to come in, so maybe he calls back like he did earlier on. We'll see. Now, if there are any questions in the crew, in the peanut gallery, like I said, make sure you shout it out now, because I got to prepare for a huge show tonight for Friday Fight Night. Like I said, the debut of my little brother, David Broken Wall, will be taking place tonight, and Adam Guerin has made it to the interview. How's it going, Adam?
It's going all right. Jesus Christ, you keep calling up the post. Whew.
Well, it's glad you finally made it. Now, I know you were pretty adamant about being on the air tonight, so I'm going to leave it to you. What did you want to discuss today?
Look, I got a couple of things on my mind right now, all right? So, y'all been seeing how I've been doing out there in the ring, right? Trying to make a name for myself. Trying to make the best of it. But you know what? I don't know, man. I feel like maybe, just a little bit, there's a problem here. You understand? I'm feeling there's sort of a problem I'm seeing out there. Like, typically, I don't worry about guys who are that much bigger than me, right? Guys like Furious Freak. Guys who don't fit in buildings like him, you know? Guys who live in aircraft hangars, you know? This kind of guy. So, I got my concerns about that. But, you know, I got some problems on my mind here, all right? I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm worried what these guys are eating. I'm worried how I can deal with what I got to deal with here.
Well, you got a lot of big guys on the show to contend with. You know, you've, hell, Devilish, Soulkeeper, Seeker, you name it. Those are all big dudes. You got Mordecai to contend with, Sin. The list goes on with the giants in big dog wrestling.
And that's what's got me, because I'm a big dude myself by comparison to most people. I'm 6 foot. I'm about anywhere from 275 to 290, depending on how much of a glutton I've been lately. And so I'm not small, but I got to look up to the rafters every night to try and get to the head of some of these guys. And, you know, I'm looking. It's hard. I want to get in there, and I just want to break them down. You know?
Well, what they say with big guys is you start with the knees and work your way up.
Damn right.
And I'm pretty sure you're capable. I've seen you in the ring. I've seen how impressive you can move. Maybe it's a little bit in the training side. Maybe you got to train to contend with these bigger, or I should say giants of the ring.
Because that's the thing, you know. Most other technicians, and I do consider myself a technician, by the way. I've got a long-standing amateur career. I've got, you know, NCAA titles. I've got Big Ten titles. I am a grappler. I get on the mat and I grapple. I get down there. That is what I like to do. I like to turn people, twist people. But usually your Bret Harts, your Kurt Angles, your other spectacular technicians of the past, they only have to deal with 1, 2, maybe 3 of these giants in a particular federation at any time. You know,
and Angle had to deal with wrestling. We went big. That is why we are big dog wrestling.
Yeah, no kidding. And so you got to be the biggest dog. I'm just going to put a warning out there for some of these big guys, right? Watch yourself, because you know what? You get down on my level, and I will put you down on my level, by the way. And you're going to find out you cannot keep up with me. You cannot keep up with my training. You cannot keep up with my skill. Everything that I have done has led to this point. And if you think you're going to walk around like this is a giant's causeway, I'm going to break every single one of them down. And you know what? Furious Freak, I'm going to start with you. Because you copped out last week. You chucked out last week. You beat me on countout. And I don't like that. You know why? Because countout's a cheap way to win. You only use countout wins when you are trying real hard to get out of a scrape. So this is what I think was going through your mind, Freak. You were sitting there going, oh, damn, this dude right here, I can see the evil in his eyes. I can see that he wants to make a name on me. Well, I can't have that. I'm just going to taunt him out. I'm going to drag him out into the outside of the ring, and I'm going to let him get suckered. I'm going to sucker him.
Well, that is one thing you can be guaranteed tonight will be a rematch between you and Fantastic Freak, and it will be taking place inside a Hell in a Cell. I don't like to use the cage that often anymore because we've seen how badly that goes. But why not make it a match where no one can escape, put it inside the cell, and finally get an actual winner from your match last week? And we had someone say, it sounds like you need a tag team partner. And let's see who that was.
I mean, I'd be interested in a tag team run. I've got some tag team action going on. I'm actually in Woo's big old tag team Bacchanalia, Tag Mania. And you know what? Me and my boy, Toxic Megatron, we're doing some work in there, man.
It is, Doug Bishop said, it sounds like you need a tag team partner. But, frankly, Doug Bishop already has a partner in Dwayne D. Bathtub, and they are tag team champions at the moment, if I remember correctly. So that's out of the question there.
And I know Dwayne, he's a good guy. So he's got a partner on his side.
I was actually very impressed that they took out Fantastic Freak as well as his partner El Maestro. Now, you've got Fantastic Freak on your mind for tonight, but what's your goals in the end? I know every guy's goal is to climb to the top, grab that undisputed title, but how do you see yourself getting there? Do you see yourself beating Fantastic Freak and proving you can be a giant slayer and be thrust upon the main event scene, or do you want to gradually find your way climbing up that ladder, take out the mid-card champ, and then take out the heavyweight champ?
Well, look, man, here's what it is. I do believe from a book standpoint, because, you know, I've grown up in the business, right? I got my dad, I got my uncles, I got, you know, my mother-in-law is a deathmatch legend if you talk to the right people. But, you know, and so I've grown up kind of thinking, how do you build up? How do you build to the book? I liked the period of WWF where it was very clear that the Intercontinental Championship was kind of a dress rehearsal.
Yeah, it was
for the
a stepping stone.
Yeah. If you can hold the IC belt and you can hold it convincingly, then you're going to get moved up to the main event.
Exactly.
You know, that's the kind of stepping stone I like. I don't like what's been happening lately on my TV where guys are getting hot-shotted to the title without us knowing pretty much anything about them. Like, when Jinder Mahal came back, what the hell? Well, what happened to him?
We don't want to get me started on WWE's product right now, because that'll be taking place later on tonight when I do a podcast on the prediction show for this upcoming pay-per-view called Battleground. I don't have much good to say with the way the direction of wrestling has gone. Now, my goal in the end for Big Dog Wrestling is to eventually do it so that way when you get close enough to the mid-card title, say the Canadian champion, which is Buckshot, you challenge him, and Buckshot's been on a pretty hot streak as of late. He's taken on all comers and dispatched them.
I've enjoyed seeing him work.
Yes, it's been unbelievable, and frankly, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see him having it in his stomach or in his heart to actually be a continuous and repeatably dominant character here in Big Dog Wrestling. But he's proven that, and that's what I want to see a lot of guys do here, and then stake their claim in the mid-card, prove that they are worthy of stepping up and doing the big show at the end. And I'm hoping I see that from a lot more. That's why I ask you guys to visit the Wrestler Unstoppable Pillar to Post. There is a section in there for you guys to cut promos for the show itself. Frankly, I have to read them out, so it doesn't have the same effect. But, you know, if you're a woman, you're going to sound like a dude. If you're British, you're going to sound like me. If, you know, if you talk with a really high, whiny voice like Canadian Enforcer, frankly, I'm going to make you sound a little bit better than what you already are. But
I agree with that sentiment, big man.
But that is the goal eventually. This show here is to give you guys your real voice, let everyone know who the real guy is or the real woman is behind the character, and really see where you guys see yourselves going in Big Dog Wrestling, and give you guys a different form of entertainment besides just watching the fantasy booking night as well as your regular shows. And I have to say, I want to thank every single one of you guys for participating, because you guys are awesome. You know, it's off the hook with what you guys do. And when we really start getting into the storyline in here on the shows, it's not only going to be me that has their work cut out for them, it's going to be you guys as well. Because I'm going to need you guys to participate. I'll give you guys angles with what to work with, who to work with, and then we're going to let the AI decide what's going to happen in the match and go from there. It's very hard and unpredictable to do storylines that way, but I think it adds another intriguing value to the show as well.
Well, if that's the purpose of this, give me one sec. Hold on. Sorry about that. But
not a problem.
That should give you just a little bit of a hint of how deep into character I think some of our guys should be if we really want to make this a success.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like you need to think not just how does your guy wrestle, what does he do in his spare time? How does he sound?
Who he really is. That's what I want.
What kind of things bother him? What is his ultimate goal or her ultimate goal? And it doesn't always have to just be gold. You know, that's admirable, especially in this industry.
Exactly.
But, you know, you do have to start thinking about, like, are they looking to change something about the industry? Are they looking to outshine a big brother or an uncle? Do they have some sort of home trouble that they're trying to deal with? You know, this is the kind of characterization we need to see.
Exactly. So I like to try and tell everyone, I'm going to direct my comment here to my little bro who's in the chat right now. I want you guys to actually sit down and really think about your character. That's what I asked you guys to do when I asked you to bring out, you know, when for entrances. Really think about who your wrestler is. And I'm talking from the standpoint of a manager here. Like I said, when I do this show, I'm Pete Wall. And I want you guys to think long and hard about who your character is and write up a promo or a storyline idea. Send it my way or post it in the WU Fed that I said. Actually, I see Devilish has made that post there on the bottom as well. Bio, storylines, and ideas on company P2P wall under ideas loading. That's where you want to go post that stuff. And I can bring that into the shows and add a lot more storytelling and a lot more complexity to the shows. It isn't just me calling the matches then. It's me telling the story about why you guys are wrestling and who you're wrestling against and where you're going to be ending up later on down the road. And I was asked earlier on if there's going to be Royal Rumble shows. Yes, there is Royal Rumble shows coming up in the very near future, and they're going to be used as they should have all along, and that's to catapult up-and-coming superstars into where they want to be, where they see themselves. So it could elevate you to, say, the mid-card championship, or we could have one where it elevates you to fight the heavyweight champ. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's going to stay traditional for, like I said, up-and-coming superstars. That's also what the King of the Ring tournaments are going to be about, and such.
Well,
so
I'm going to shoot from the hip on this one. I'm a little bit, because I've been involved with WU full-time, quote-unquote, since about November, December, something like that. Despite what my profile will tell you that I got started back in like 2011, I started an account and then was like, this isn't quite for me, and then faded off, and then I came back to it after some advert, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll give this a shot. Because here's the thing. I really kicked the varnish off of myself with a lot of this kind of stuff by doing other online role play a decade earlier. Like, we're talking when I was just starting out in college, 19, I got into, believe it or not, a fantasy wrestling federation with all your own characters on the Adult Swim message board. We had to go underground practically because you weren't allowed to do RP for the most part. But we set it up as almost a gambling sort of thing. We made picks on the pay-per-view matches and the show matches, and then we did storylines with our own guys.
Exactly.
Based on what that happened. And so I learned a lot of what you can do from a character's perspective and a writing perspective from that experience. And I want to bring a lot of that to WU. I want to see people do that same kind of stuff, that back and forth, that chopping at each other, that chomping at the bit, that feeling of wanting to get back and get to the computer so you can type up a scathing retort to whatever, throwing out a name here, Crypto Zoo Mahler said to smack talk you, and come up with something to burn him right back. Because that's the excitement that was there. And unfortunately, with a lot of the guys and gals and what have you in WU, a lot of them don't get into it to that degree. They just get to, they like having their matches and they like having their coins and their cash and their swagger.
Yes.
But then their promos are usually just
I'm here. I showed up. I'm gone.
just like, yeah,
But there
gonna
are
go to the
those
bar
that
and drink.
really get
Like,
involved in the storyline, and I do appreciate that. Like that was my biggest problem when Wrestler Unstoppable brought in the coins for the federations and stuff like that. It seemed like the wrestlers focused on how much they were going to get paid and not about what they were going to do to define their character. And that's what I'm trying to bring back. I know a lot of companies are back in with the storylines. I love seeing it. I wish I could be more involved with it. But I want to bring that into what we're doing here on YouTube as well. And that's why I decided to do the show, to bring people on, cut a interview, and have fun with it, and move on. Now, I know you could go on forever. I know I could probably do a lot more, but I've got a show to prepare for at 6 p.m. It might be a little bit late due to these interviews going a little bit longer than I was hoping. But it's been a blast. It has. Right. It's always been a blast. I enjoy every moment of doing this. But like I said, I got to get my ass to work, to the grindstone, make sure you guys have an intriguing show, and make it as interesting as possible. Maybe we get you on in another interview on a future date, and we can go more in depth with who Adam Guerin really is and what he's going to do to define himself in Big Dog Wrestling. How's that sound?
That would be astounding. I'd love that. I'm sorry we had connection problems earlier. I kept pulling myself away from the computer pretty much just as you were calling me.
Oh, no, not a worry, man. Not a worry. Shit happens, and that's the way you roll with it, you know? So
it's some Murphy's Law crap is what it is.
Exactly.
So got to deal with it.
So I want to thank everyone that's tuned in. I want to thank everyone that's taken the time out of their day to come onto the show, be interviewed, talk, and shoot a promo. We're going to come back next week. We're going to bring on some new characters. I'll be contacting some. I see Mad Mike there in the comments. Maybe get him on here because we got to learn a little bit more about Mad Mike and Skull Psycho Man as well as many other competitors here in Big Dog Wrestling. I want to say you guys have a great one. I'll see you in about an hour or two. I got to make sure I got enough time to set everything up. So if I'm a little bit late tonight, I do apologize. And we'll try and figure out a day where this show works for everyone to call in and enjoy the show. And I'll set that up with everyone. We'll maybe have a little discussion in Unstoppable about that. So, Adam Guerin, thank you very much.
Yeah, not a problem. See you around.
And I'll see you later on tonight.
Take care of yourself, bro.
Yep, bye. Okay, folks, Adam Guerin gone, and this is Pillar to Post signing off. As usual, my name's Pete Wall. I want you to give another shout out. He is an affiliate of Big Dog Wrestling. Check him out, Internet Football League. He runs a great football show on his channel. Make sure you check it out. You're going to find that out, little man. You're going to find that out when the time comes, and that means you're going to have to tune in. Like I said, you want to be involved in Big Dog, there's shit you got to do to make sure you stay on top of the show. So you guys have a good one. I will see you in, like I said, an hour and a half, 2 hours for Friday Fight Night. Have a good one all.